Fluency isn't about knowing every single word, it's about being able to share your thoughts without stopping. When I started learning English, I thought it had to be hard. I felt I had to do boring lessons and study a lot. I thought I had to suffer to be fluent, but it doesn't have to be that way. If something feels easy and works, you are doing it right. In this video, I want to show you how I became fluent in English. I did it by using Comprehensible Input. This means watching videos, listening to podcasts, and reading stories that I liked. Fluency doesn't mean you know every word or grammar rule. It means you can express yourself even when you have a problem. Hi friends, welcome back to our podcast, where you learn real English slowly, clearly, and with confidence. I'm so excited you're here. My name is Marcus, and today we have a very special topic that many of you are struggling with. Last week, I talked with my friends. We all live in Mexico City, and we are learning Spanish. My friends said they were learning grammar in class, and they thought it was boring and hard. They asked me, "How are you learning Spanish?" I said the same way I learned English, with comprehensible input. My friends had never heard of this idea. I talk about it a lot on my channel because it works very well. Why don't schools teach this way? Because schools often teach a language, they don't help you naturally learn a language. This means you do grammar exercises and read textbooks. These things are for classrooms, not for real life. Schools have a hard time changing. It is hard for one teacher to help 30 students learn a language in a natural way. Schools are also focused on tests, not on real conversations. That's why many of us study English for years but still can't speak it well. The good news is you don't have to wait for schools to change. You can change your own method today. You might think this idea is too simple. We often think that hard work and struggle mean we are learning, but science says something different. So, what is comprehensible input? It's a way to learn where you surround yourself with a language that is just a little bit harder than your level. It is not too hard and not too easy. The key word is comprehensible, which means you can mostly understand it. You understand because you see pictures or you know the context. For example, if you watch a video of a person having breakfast and they show you their food, you can understand them even if you don't know every single word. Your brain starts to fill in the missing parts. This method is great because it's how children learn their first language. They don't get grammar lessons. They just listen, watch, and then slowly start to speak. Children get a lot of comprehensible input for free. Adults talk to them and read them books. But many adults pay a teacher to do this. There is nothing wrong with taking classes, but if you only take a class once a week, it's not enough. You can create this language environment for yourself every day for free.
The idea of comprehensible input comes from a man named Stephen Krashen. He found that we learn a language by understanding messages, not by memorizing. Many people feel like they have to start speaking right away. They feel worried and nervous. But Stephen Krashen says that speaking is not the start of learning a language. Speaking is the result of all the comprehensible input you get over time. If you want to speak better, you must first focus on your comprehensible input. Ask yourself, am I getting enough comprehensible input every day? Or is this language a part of my daily life? If you only study once a week in a classroom and you don't enjoy it, your progress will be slower. Again, this is not good or bad, it's just a fact. You can accept it or you can change it. There's a reason why comprehensible input sometimes doesn't work. It is a concept called the effective filter hypothesis. Imagine your brain has a special machine for learning languages. Now, imagine you get a lot of comprehensible input every day. But between the information and your brain's machine, there is a filter. This filter is made of your emotions, like stress, anxiety, and boredom. These feelings can block the input from reaching your brain's learning machine. I remember when I moved to Mexico, I was very stressed. For the first 6 months, I couldn't learn Spanish. Nothing worked because my emotional filter was so strong. The problem isn't always the comprehensible input method itself. It's the emotions you have while learning. That's why I always tell you to choose things you really love. When you enjoy the content, you forget you're learning. The message becomes more important than the language. I remember when I was a teenager, I was so scared to speak in English class. I was afraid of making mistakes. The exercises were boring, so the language was more important than the message. When you focus on the message more than the language, that's when real learning happens. For example, I made a lot of progress in English when I became very interested in veganism. I read every book I could find in English. The message was so important to me that I didn't care that reading in English was hard. English was just a tool to get the knowledge I wanted. So don't let the language stop you from getting a message you want.
We also need to talk about output, which is speaking and writing. Stephen Krashen says to wait. Don't worry about speaking or writing at the beginning. They will come later. Speaking and writing are the result of learning a language. They are not the starting point. At the beginning, you should focus on comprehensible input. You are feeding your brain. Like a sponge, it absorbs everything quietly. This only works when your emotional filter is low and you are interested in what you're doing. When you force yourself to speak or write too early, you feel nervous and your mind goes blank. This happens because you don't have enough input in your brain yet. This raises your emotional filter and it blocks new information. You stop learning. So let your speaking and writing come naturally. Speak when you feel ready. Write when you feel curious. If you keep giving your brain the right input, things that are interesting and just a little hard, your brain will start to produce output on its own. This is when fluency is born.
Okay, that's all for today. I said that comprehensible input is the most important method to become fluent. You can practice it by reading, watching, or listening to things you enjoy. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I have another video on my channel where I talk about how to stop comparing yourself with others. Click here to watch it. Thank you, and see you in the next video.